They lied to you. They told you the hardest part of getting rich is making your first million. It's total bullshit. The absolute hardest, most grueling, soul-crushing part of wealth building is scraping together your first $20,000. Why? Because until you hit that exact number, you are a slave to your own survival. But once you cross it, your entire reality shatters. Welcome to Billionaire Blueprint, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Listen closely, because today's video is going to be a massive wake-up call. If you are easily offended, click away now, go back to watching cat videos and complaining about the economy. But if you are tired of suffocating under the weight of financial anxiety, stay right here. Most people think $20,000 isn't a lot of money. They think it's not enough to buy a Lamborghini. So what's the point? That is exactly why they will stay poor forever. Hitting your first $20,000 isn't about buying toys. It is a psychological revolution. It moves your brain out of survival mode and into wealth building mode. Today we are going to break down exactly why this specific milestone changes the trajectory of your entire life and how it dramatically accelerates your path to real wealth. If you're serious about escaping the rat race, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's get to work. Number 1, the eradication of survival mode. When you have $0 in the bank, your brain is flooded with cortisol. You are constantly operating in a state of primal fear. How will I pay rent? What if I lose my job? You literally cannot think about a 5-year wealth plan because your brain is focused on surviving Friday. Having $20,000 in liquid cash shuts off that primal alarm. It clears the psychological fog, allowing you to finally think clearly, strategically, and long-term. Number 2, the invention of walkaway money. There is a massive difference between working because you want to and working because you have to. Your first $20,000 gives you something 99% of society doesn't have: leverage. If your boss is toxic, you can walk away. If a client is disrespectful, you can fire them. When you aren't terrified of missing a single paycheck, you stop accepting garbage treatment. This newfound confidence radiates out of you, completely changing how the world treats you. Number 3, the death of the emergency. For the broke and financially illiterate, a broken transmission or a medical bill is a life-altering disaster. It means maxing out high-interest credit cards and sinking further into the trap. When you have $20,000, an unexpected $1,000 expense is no longer a crisis. It is simply an annoyance. You pay it in cash and move on with your day. You start paying the poor tax of late fees and ridiculous interest rates. Number 4, the compound interest ignition. Before $20,000, compound interest is just a mathematical theory you read about. Once you have $20,000 properly invested, you actually start to see the engine working. A 10% return means an extra $2,000 a year for doing absolutely nothing. You begin to realize that your money can work harder than you can. This is the exact moment you transition from a laborer who trades time for pennies to an investor who buys assets. Number 5, the Desperation stench disappears. Have you ever gone to a job interview or a sales pitch completely desperate for the money? People can smell it on you. Desperation is repulsive. It makes you a weak negotiator. But when you have $20,000 sitting quietly in your portfolio, you negotiate differently. You ask for higher salaries. You demand better margins. You don't need the deal to survive, which ironically makes people want to give you the deal even more. Number 6, the freedom to fail. Wealth requires risk. You cannot become a millionaire without taking calculated leaps. If you have no safety net, starting a side hustle feels like jumping out of a plane without a parachute. Your first $20,000 is the parachute. It buys you a 6 to 12 month runway to try building a business, learning high income skills, or taking a commission-only job with massive upside. You can finally afford to fail until you succeed. Number 7, the shift from consumer to owner. When broke, people get $1,000, they think, what can I buy? When people with $20,000 get $1,000, they think, what can I invest in? Getting to $20,000 requires intense discipline. By the time you reach it, you've naturally killed off your toxic consumer habits. You stop caring about impressing losers with Gucci belts or leased cars. You realize that true status isn't what you wear, it's what you own. Number 8, you can finally capitalize on opportunities. Wealth is made during times of panic. When markets crash, the middle class cries and sells at a loss. The elite step in and buy assets for pennies on the dollar. If you have zero cash, a market crash is just a depressing headline. If you have $20,000, a market crash is the Black Friday sale of a lifetime. You finally have the ammunition to pull the trigger when the universe hands you an opportunity. Number 9, the upgrade of your social circle. Poverty is isolating, and frankly, misery loves company. As you grind to your first $20,000, you will inevitably outgrow the people who spend their weekends drinking their paychecks away. You start seeking out rooms where people talk about equities, real estate, and business scaling. You can finally afford to attend the seminars, fly to the networking events, and buy the coffees for the mentors who can actually pull you up. Number 10, your time becomes an asset. When you are broke, your time is worthless to you. You will spend 3 hours on a bus to save $15 on an Uber. Once you hit $20,000 and your mindset shifts, you realize time is the only non-renewable resource you have. You start using your money to buy back your time. You pay for conveniences that allow you to focus your energy strictly on high leverage, money-making tasks. Number 11, you stop playing defense and start playing offense. Getting to $20,000 requires extreme defense, budgeting, cutting expenses, skipping vacations. It's exhausting. But once you hit the milestone, the game changes. You realize you can't shrink your way to wealth. You pivot your energy from aggressively saving pennies to aggressively multiplying dollars. You shift your focus to increasing your income, scaling your output, and dominating your market. Number 12, the proof of concept reality check. Imposter syndrome kills more dreams than failure ever will. Deep down, most people secretly believe they are fundamentally incapable of building wealth. Accumulating your first $20,000 is undeniable. Hard proof that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You proved you have discipline. You proved you understand delayed gratification. You looked at the matrix, figured out the rules, and won the first level. Number 13, you become emotionally detached from money. Broke people are highly emotional about money. They get defensive, angry, or depressed when it's brought up. Once you cross the $20,000 threshold, money stops being this terrifying, mystical force that dictates your mood. It becomes what it was always meant to be: a simple tool, a metric, a hammer you use to build your empire. Emotional detachment leads to cold, rational financial decisions. Number 14, the elimination of the opportunity cost. Blindspot. When you have capital, you start understanding the true cost of things. You stop looking at a $1,000 phone as just $1,000. You look at it as a $1,000 chunk of capital that could be generating an 8% yield over the next decade. Your first 20,000 trains your brain to instantly calculate the opportunity cost of every single purchase, turning you into a highly efficient capital allocator. Number 15, the unstoppable velocity of the next 20,000. Here is the ultimate secret. The first 20,000 might take you 2 years of grueling sacrifice to save. The next 20,000 might take you 6 months. Why? Because now you have 3 things working for you. First, your money is compounding and generating its own income. Second, your financial literacy has dramatically improved, so you make fewer mistakes. And third, your mindset is completely rewired for abundance. The boulder is finally rolling downhill, and the momentum is unstoppable. Number 16, the bonus fact. You made it to the end of the video, which means you aren't like the 90% of weak-minded individuals who clicked away to seek cheap dopamine. You are a true action taker, so here is your bonus. The greatest hidden benefit of hitting your first 20,000 is the silence. When you have a buffer between you and the street, the noisy, nagging voices of society, your doubting family and your skeptical friends completely fade away. You stop needing their validation because your bank account provides all the validation you need. You realize that everyone who told you to play it safe is still miserable, while you are quietly building your fortress. To prove you are a true member of the Billionaire Blueprint community and you made it to the absolute end, I want you to go down to the comments right now and type the word momentum. When I see that word, I will know you are part of the elite minority who actually finishes what they start. I'll be down in the comments hearting and replying to the real ones. If this video woke you up, hit the like button so the algorithm knows you're serious about your financial education. Don't stop here, the momentum is just starting. Click the video on your screen right now to learn the exact daily habits that self-made millionaires use to multiply that 20,000 into their first 100,000. Keep grinding, keep building, and I will see you in the next one.